Nothing ever works the first time, I swear. Oh my gosh. Ah. No, this is what happens when I get distracted. I didn't make sure all my stuff was working before the stream started. Oh my word. Well, at the very least, now it's fixed. Oh. Oh my gosh. I was wondering why it was so quiet. Hi, Ace. Oh. Can you hear me now? Oh gosh. If it's not uh welcome welcome Lav. Oh my gosh, why does things just not work? It worked last time I loaded it up, and then this time I decided, no, we're going to make it not work. Ah. Okay. Okay. Technology aside, now it's working. Oh my gosh. Hey, late by 12 minutes means that no, a streamer is never late. They stream precisely when they need to. Oh god, I just call myself a streamer. I am definitely not that. I just talk to the voices in my head. Ain't that right, voices in my head? In my head, my chat Nazi zombie. Oh gosh. But yes, I am. A wizard is never late, nor is he early. Oh my gosh. Well, that was. Oh my gosh, that was a distraction and a half. No, laugh. We're not. We're not having that. How could I be a streamer? I don't even know the lingo. Oh man. But streamer, whatever you say. Oh man, very accurate. See, Ace gets it. I'm definitely not a streamer. Also, it's been a while since the other streamer in the chat, the other two streamer, man, I have a lot of streamers here that that make much better content than I do. So, oh, I should probably turn down the mic so I'm not blowing out your eardrums. Is that better? Is okay, okay. That seems to work. Is that better? Is that a better Oh no, it's above Audacity. Hold on. Oh, I'm so unprepared. I was so not ready for all this. Oh man. Oh jeez. Man, man, rough start. Oh man, rough start, rough transition. Man, I am not having. I am not having. I'm having a good time, but I'm not going about it in a good way. Oh man, this. You make content plenty of times, Laugh. Don't you lie to yourself. It's me that doesn't make content because I'm more excited about starting new projects than finishing new projects. And that's where you get me not finishing anything. I've actually created a whole thing, a list of all the projects I started. I have over 24 projects in the works right now, but none of them are even close to finishing. Because I just start new projects, and then as soon as they don't interest me anymore, I move to the next one without even finishing the first one. I'm going to finish them eventually. But as of right now, it's not a thing that's... I'm focusing on 2, maybe 3. That's finishing Changing of the Guard, because the wedding's on the way! Yes, I won't reveal any spoilers, but the wedding's on the way! Woo! V's working on the chapter as we speak. So, we're going to all have a good time we're all going to have a good time in the next couple of weeks or so. Yeah. Why does Audacity look weird? Why? Why are those numbers so huge? I'm going to worry about that later, but I've never seen that before. Okay, never mind. Yes, Respite is on the back burner right now, along with the half a dozen other projects on the back burner, but I promise, as soon as I'm caught up with Changing of the Guard, I will start doing Respite again. Because the only reason I haven't continued doing Respite is I don't have time. I have like... The only time I have to record is during these streams, but all y'all want some more idle? You know what you can do after finishing? No, yeah. Oh, I absolutely know what I can do after finishing the wedding desk. I can finish Respite. Then I can start on Small Pony book. Maybe even the sequel that Kara's making right now. There's so many opportunities. Maybe even Deathly Tired Princess. Who knows? There's so many possibilities. The Changing of the Guard Part 2. Exactly, V. I hit my mic. Exactly, V. That's what we're going to do. Oh, gosh. I just spilled so much water everywhere. Problem is that my water cup is right next to my tower. So if the stream cuts out... If I die, just know it was because I'm right next to a PC that's dangerously close to a cup of water, and I am sitting at a metal desk. So I could very well be electrocuted if I'm not careful. But let's have some fun anyway. Shattered Sykes. Am I right? Oh, man, I've missed this. But anyway. The Indesker are the same way. Yep. Oh, my gosh. And welcome, V. Okay, let's see. Did I miss anyone? V, Desk, Lav, and Ace. I think that's everyone. Yeah? Yeah, that's a lot of people. Okay. Let's get started. Welcome, All-Star. It's been a while. Like, I haven't seen you in ages. But welcome. The lands of VR have graced us with their presence. Welcome, All-Star. I don't think I've seen you for since the New Year's stream. Like, it's been ages. Oh my desk! No, don't. I was drinking water. Oh my god! Oh my! Don't do that to me! Don't kill the voice actor. Don't kill the VA, please. Oh my gosh! Desk, why you do this? Oh man. Oh man. Oh jeez. Desk. Bad desk. Bad. You act like I'm sober. So here's a question for you, Desk. If you're always drunk, isn't that just the new sober? Like, would you have to get even more drunk on top of being drunk to actually be drunk? Or if your baseline is drunk, isn't that just sober in reality? Okay, Equinox, all the dialogue for Twilight and Idol here has to be snappy. Oh, gosh. uh, past here at midnight. Mostly because you stream past midnight. It's 1:20 over here. I don't know why you're Scottish now. If I... Oh, gosh, I shouldn't be allowed to do accents. Oh, gosh. Past here midnight. It's 1:20 a.m. over here. Don't you know? Now you're Wisconsin. So I think I'll just move right on past that. Oh, this is so much fun. We should do these more often. Yeah. Maybe even like, one thing we could do. One thing. V. Oh, never mind. If I can manage to catch up before V finishes the story, he could release it on a Sunday, and then we'll just live read it together. That sounds fun. Oh, you are Scottish? I had no idea. I got Irish blood through my veins, although I can't stick to a real accent. Either way, your accent's bad. We all know my accent's terrible. So. Oh, man. The typo, though. Oh, man. I gotta... You know what? I think we've actually reached a point where I can remove the typo counter. I think it's the end of an era. The end of the typo counter, which I know V will be heartbroken over. Truly. But I think... typo counter will be height that... typo counter will be height that day. Tyopo. The Tyopo. The Tyopo. The typo count will be height that day. But yes, I believe that at this point, the typo... I don't even pay attention to the typos most of the time. Usually the great big flag. Oh, that's true. You do have that flag on Discord. I completely forgot. I haven't been that. I've forgotten so many great things. Oh, man. I'm just reading the chat as it is, Ace. Every stream's a drunken one, if you're tired enough. Every day is a day you're drunk. You just have to be tired enough. More tired you are, more drunk you are. That's the rule. So let's see if I can remember how I did Twilight. And although she was a kid at that point, I played the VR Holo keyboard for all my typos XP. Nice. Yes, I'm doing that bit. So funny. How do I do Twilight's voice? I also need to figure out how to do Luna's voice. This is going to be... No, every stream's a drunken one because you're always drunk. That is also true. I've almost blown through half of my water supply, and we're not even a half hour in. So... let's see if I can figure out a perfect Twilight voice. This is current year Twilight, so just try to make her show accurate. Oh God, try impersonate Tara Strong. Tara Strong. Is that? I'm forgetting the VA's name. I feel so bad. Tara Strong. Yeah, right. Yeah, Tara. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's her name. I'd feel so bad if I misremembered her name. Okay, Tara Strong. Yeah, 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 yeah. Uh huh. Yep. Okay. Yep. Okay. I'm on the right track. Whew. It's Tis Jaeger. I just discovered something. I discovered Malibu the other day. So good, especially with pineapple juice. Malibu and pineapple juice is delicious. I'm getting so far off topic though. No, Terra Stronk. Yes. Thank you, All Star. No, I'm not going into Japanese anything. If I go into something Japanese related, it's going to be The Bridge, an MLP uh, Godzilla crossover story. It's like a fantastic story. You should read it. It's super long. Be warned. Uh, I have to say, the shipping between Luna and Godzilla Jr. is my favorite. Anyway, and Space Godzilla uh, and a OC Batguard. Beautiful. I love all the shipping that's in that story. Anyway, anyway. Oh gosh, Twilight as to show accurate Twilight. I'll try my best. Okay, how does that's also a problem. I haven't watched the show in years, so. Oh yeah, Bridge. Yeah, the Bridge. I was just talking about that desk. Such a good story. You should really read it. Really insightful on on some Japanese. It has lots of Japanese references in it. You should really try it. I have a feeling you might like a story like that. Anyway, back to trying to figure out Twilight. How does Twilight sound? I don't go Twilight now. Twilight. It's so hard for me to do this. So the evidence is clear. Nightmare Moon is coming back. Does that sound too close to? Because Topaz is back here. So with Topaz back here, Topaz. There we go. So Topaz is here. So Twilight is here. Maybe. I'm going to go with a yes. Although is that cadence? I have so many people that I have to remember. I have not. I heard I own the movie. I just never watched it. It's a funny thing is everyone's like, oh, how haven't you watched this movie? Don't you own it? I'm the digital curator for my entire family's collection of movies. I have 6 terabytes of movies on this computer. So so I have over 700 movies and I've maybe seen half a dozen. I just don't watch movies that often. That's another project on the. I need to add that to my project board actually because I forgot that adding movies was one of my projects. Oh man, I forgot about that one. I feel so bad. I have literally movies sitting right next to me ready to be downloaded, and I haven't yet because I'm too lazy. Maybe a tad more's on the higher breathier side. Yeah, 6 terabytes. I've completely filled out. I have 1 terabyte that's a quarter use for all my computer storage I've had since 2016, and the other and the other 5 is just dedicated to movies. Or no. Oh, no. 6 terabytes. The first one I put in was a 2. Then I have a... No, wait. Are they all just 2? I have 4 core... Okay. So I have a terabyte for my regular storage. Then 3 2 terabytes in my computer. I'm thinking of getting a server rack for it, to be honest. I can't... I've been running this computer nonstop for over a year and a half now, with sometimes restarting it for Windows updates. So it's been working so hard, and I haven't replaced anything in here since 2016. So it might be time for me to do that. Okay, so Twilight. Oh, and maybe I should add a distraction counter in these. You're too good at it. So, wait. Hold on. Twilight, come to me. No, that just... No, I'm not even finishing that. That sounds so bad. Princess. I can do that for Twilight. It kind of sounds like her. Although that kind of sounds how I wanted to make Pinky sound. But I guess I'll have to do this for Twilight instead. Does that sound better? Does that sound better, V? I don't... Remember, I'm not good at this voice acting thing. This is probably the best we're going to get from this. I'm 99.99% sure that anytime I try to describe a voice, I only leave you more confused. Like, the thing is that you, it's not the way that you describe voices, it's that you're comparing them to my other voices, which you assume incorrectly that I remember how I read those. Because I remember Cadence being lower, closer to... And I guess Twilight can fit up here. Okay, so, for the first time in forever... Yeah, funny thing is that I have a voice I call the Looney voice. Or sorry, the Eduardo voice. Because I'm friends with Looney Turtle, and we created a skit that we've been talking about for years but never actually done, where I impersonate Looney the entire time and be his like evil twin. My name's Eduardo. It just has a giant handlebar mustache. Playing man, I would love to be able to do something like that. But, you know. Eric! Thing is that I almost fell off my chair. that was terrifying. Okay, let's see. Neck cracked. Voice picked out, and let's do this thing. With the power of love and anime on my side, nothing can defeat me. So the evidence is clear. Nightmare Moon is coming back. So the evidence is clear. Nightmare Moon is coming back. Recap. Oh, I've been so much time trying to figure out how Twilight sounds. I haven't even figured out how Idol sounds. The changeling of the guard. Written. Oh, here we go. Oh, he kind of sounds like Big Mac now. Oh, jeez. Please don't... Oh, no, you did add in Big Mac. No! I have to do Big Mac versus Idol. The two deep-end voices. I am not sure how this would... troublesome subject, I'm sure. Of course, that is why they are logged. There we go. There's the idol that we know and love. Recap. It's been 1,000 years. That's an important number in magical terms. I nodded. Makes sense. For now, I'm glad I can hear you over the gunfire. May not have been the best choice of background play. Nice. I nodded. Makes sense. The stars are moving in strange patterns. She pointed to the sky where, well, the sun was up. Still, maybe the stars had looked a bit strange the night before. Stars, strange patterns, truth. And Princess Celestia refuses to talk about it. A troublesome subject, I'm sure. Twilight hadn't even broached the fact that Nightmare Moon was apparently Celestia's own sister, likely in the interest of saving time. And there was a prophecy which is a legitimate source of knowledge about future events. Of course, which is why they are logged. So? Trying to do the whole, and, come on. So? Maybe they are all just coincidences. Twilight's face hit the table. I cautiously steadied her teacup. Coincidences happen every day, I argued. If it were truly a concern, the princess would be acting on it. Oh no, you made Spike in this too! No! Why do you do this? Oh man. Also, V, is that snappy enough for you? Well, that's kind. I don't know how to make things more snappy. I just tried to make. I don't know what I'm doing. I tried to make it. I tried to make it snappy. Or did you just mean, come on, let's get these out of here. Let's get this chapter finished up right here. But Spike. Oh gosh. Thing is that he has a slight growl, a slight graveliness to his voice that I probably wouldn't be able to. Because the thing is, the issue I have with most Spike VAs in the community is that they make him sound really dumb. Because they just kind of go for that kind of voice like the, which is kind of mean to say, but it doesn't. Like, I don't think anyone could do Spike's voice really well, other than Cassie Westluck? Is that her name? Am I forgetting VA's names again? Spike's VA. Not Spike. Oh. Apparently it's a thing in Roanoke. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, Cassie Westluck. Yep, I got it right. Where do you all go? Also, I've always imagined Idol's voice pitch closer to Shining, slightly deep and more level. Can't really describe it too well. I've always tried to maintain a voice for Idol that is much easier for me to read, mainly because since he is the main character, I don't want him to make it very difficult for me to say his voice. Dopey. Yes, they make him sound too dopey. It's so bad. Where's Shining's voice in this? Oh gosh, I have to remember Shining's voice. Katie. There we go. Shining's voice is more like this, which I guess sounds kind of like an old man, but this is kind of what we're running on. This is kind of what we're running on now. But yeah, that's exactly my issue with other with community VAs, is that they make him sound dopey, and I don't want him to sound dopey because because I love his character. I don't like this. I don't like that he's a bit more rotund, but but that's fair enough. But Idol's voice is just basically a deeper one of my own, and it's most likely the one I would be using, and very easy to get in and out of, despite all my troubles that I usually have with him. But Shining's voice is kind of really hard to do. Because he has that surfer dude. He's got the dude voice going on, and that has given me a sore throat by just even thinking about it. More agua to burn away the pain. I mean, to soothe? Yeah, soothe. But yeah, so spikes. And all this is come on, how do I do spikes? I just make... Man, imagine if I just make Spike just sound completely different from the canon of the show. That's what I... like, he just has a drop of like 3 octaves from show canon. Well, I don't want to talk about it. That's what I told her, but she doesn't listen. Sounds too... That's the thing, is that I have a hard time trouble seeing what I sound like. Oh gosh. Oh. Oh no, I almost blew out my own ears. Ow. Ow! Remind me next time, don't hit your volume knob, or else you will die. So let's see. Spike's voice has a little bit of gravel in it, but still want to make him sound young without making him sound dopey. That is a very hard combination. Well, I could do something like this, although I think that's actually just Shining's voice, to be honest. I think this is what I actually did settle on for Shining's voice. Oh gosh, I forgot how breathy Shining's voice actually was. So, in fairness, Spike's voice is nearly impossible for me to do. That's what I told her. That's what I told her. That's what I told her, but she didn't listen. But I didn't listen. This shouldn't be so hard. It's one line that's causing me from finishing this chapter. Okay, so... That's what I told her. That's what I... Well, I meant is a similar voice pitch to Shining. The idol speaking like surfer is deeply amusing. I mean, the only reason I say that Shining has the surfer accent is based on Anthony C's Canterlet Wedding review, where he's like, Shining's and Twilight meets up with her brother, who is totally a bro. Wait, a what? Like, dude, I love this guy. He's like the most relatable character in the whole show, man. Twilight. It was just... So, ever since from that point on, Shining has been Surfer Bro. I'll do it eventually. You can do it eventually. Although I don't want to spend a whole live stream trying to figure out Spike's voice. This is the later last section of a chapter that I started a month ago that I haven't finished. I wanted to get through a second chapter which has Luna in it, which is another voice for me to do. 3 voices in the same day. That's where the Jeopardy comes in. I thought it was bad enough doing 2 voices in one day, but no, 3. And I think I made Owie Zodel like not even French, like what he's supposed to, like what even he sounds like in the show. There's your daring do. Like he doesn't sound at all like how he sounds in the show. But I'm the protector of this temple. Oh gosh, I'm so glad I didn't try to go with what his voice is. That sounds so bad. There's a reason why I'm banned from accents. That's what I told her, but she doesn't listen. That's what I told her. That's what I told her, but she doesn't listen. That's what I told her, but she doesn't listen. It's hard to make a masculine character without making them sound very old. That's what I told her, but she doesn't listen. Here we go. That's what I told her. No, that's the dopey sounding one. I don't want to do the dopey sounding one. Idol, I want you to be my best. My best. Oh, man. Wait a second. Oh, I won't spoil it. Because I got a sneak peek of what V's writing. And I almost spoiled it. Oh, man. Soccer. Why a soccer ball? Oh. Got it. I got it. So, Spike. Who knew Spike would be the most troubling character? Twilight, I got out, no problem. But when it comes to Spike, I have to... That's future Spike's problem. That's future Spike's problem. Ooh, there we go. I think I can do that. That's what I told her, but she doesn't listen. That's what I told her, but she doesn't listen. Came Spike's voice from a nearby shelf. The not exactly baby dragon was rearranging several tomes from the protege's personal library. I considered briefly that Twilight herself might expect too much from the young dragon. It was not the duty of the youngest to labor. Perhaps this was why the princess had been so insistent that I be seen relaxing. Not only was I setting a bad example for my fellow... Gosh. I saw the gears turn on that one. They're a bit rusty after after months of not use. Not only was I setting a bad example for my fellow guard, I set unrealistic expectations for servants with those who would emulate the princess. Not only was I setting a bad example for my fellow guard, I set unrealistic expectations for servants with those who would emulate the princess. I made a note to force myself to relax very hard indeed, and slumped in my chair just slightly. A fine start, though it felt awkward. A fine start, though it felt awkward. That sentence was awkward. A fine start, though it felt awkward. Twilight. Oh gosh. Twilight. Twilight, you got to listen to me. I'm gonna make him an offer you can't refuse. Twilight, allow me to reassure you. The princess has insisted that I take the day off of the summer Twilight, allow me to reassure you. The princess has insisted that I take the day of the summer sun celebration off. If that does not tell you of her confidence, I imagine nothing will. Twilight groaned, being fluent in... Twilight groaned, being fluent... Twilight groaned, being fluent in fluent in pony faceplant. Being fluent. Twilight groaned, being fluent in pony faceplant. Suddenly Idle became... Oh, hello, fellow tadpole, on this midnight rendezvous. You seem lost, but don't worry, 'cause I just might know the way through. I'll swim here beside you and happily guide you and never deride you, dear. I'll be your Lone Ranger, protect you from danger. There we go. Twilight groaned. Being fluent in pony faceplant, I had to admit that her heart was in the right place. If one needed to disobey one set of orders to obey those to protect one's charges, such was a thing. Simply had. Oh my gosh, what is this sentence? Maybe. What is. If one needed to disobey one set of orders to obey those to protect one's. Why? What is this? What? What a. What is this? If one needed to disobey one set of orders to obey those to protect one's charges, such a thing simply had to be done and the punishment accepted. It was accepted fact. Ponies were flawed, so their orders could be. That is why there is law. Oh gosh. What is this sentence? If one needed to disobey one set of orders to obey those to obey those that would protect one's V, I'm going to summon you if you don't pop in soon. What is this sentence? Is it grammatically correct? Probably. Is it difficult to read? Oh, for sure. Badoo, dad. Either it's missing a lot of commas or it's something's not right. Oh gosh. Oh, I forgot to reset the timer. Oh no, don't open that one. Don't open that VIP program. There we go. It's all fixed now. Close this one. I don't need that one. Okay. Okay. If one needs to disobey a new set of orders. Okay. If one needs to disobey a new set of orders to protect those. If one needed to disobey a new set of orders to obey those to protect one's It's not the first part. It's the to obey those to protect one's charges. That's a tongue twister and a half. If one needed to disobey one new set of if one needed to disobey a new set of orders to obey those that protect one's charges, I think that too just needs to be replaced with that. To obey those that protect one's charges. I think that's it. But yeah, maybe like this. Oh nope, that this needs to be changed from to that. If one needed to disobey a new set of orders to disobey those that protect one's charges, such a thing simply had to be done. I'm actually so. If one needed to disobey a new set of orders to obey those to protect one's charges. Yes, that I think that has been fixed. I'm pretty sure. Twilight groaned. Being fluent in pony faceplant, I had to admit that her heart was in the right place. If one needed to disobey a new set of orders to obey those to protect one's charges, such a thing simply had to be done, and punishment accepted. It was accepted fact ponies were flawed, and so And so could their and so could their orders be. Probably grammatically correct, but it hurts my soul. So Homer is singing the Pink Panther theme. I love the struggle. The struggle is real in chat right now. Twilight groaned, being fluent in pony faceplant. Twilight groaned. Being fluent in pony faceplant, I had to admit that her heart was in the right place. If one needed to disobey a new set of orders to obey those to protect one's charges, such a thing simply had to be done and punishment accepted. It was accepted fact ponies were flawed, and so could their orders be, and that is why there is law. And so too could their orders be. And so too? That sounds right. And so too could their orders. I can't spell to be honest, I can't spell any day of the week, let alone today. So I'm with you. I'm with you 100% of the way. Okay, so ponies were flawed, and so too could their orders. And so too could their orders? And so too could their orders. And so too could their orders be. But we're wondering how to fix this sentence to make it sound better. Should there be a 2, between that? Or between that? And so too could their orders be, instead of, and so could their orders be also. Either there needs to be a 2 in there or an also, is what we're saying. So too could their orders be works too. But I don't need the 2. Oh, okay. We were just wondering because it just didn't. There we go. Ooh, is this sentence? I have a feeling that this sentence, and what you just said, V, that orders can be wrong but law cannot. Could that mean that this is a way for him to get around the orders? The orders. Ooh, we're going to be brainstorming, and I don't know much. With what comes on with the wedding, because I didn't read the sneak preview of it. So, readability conquers all. Okay, so I'm going to leave the 2 out of there, because it just works without the 2. But, so could their orders be, and that is why there is law. And I get that he might think that a changeling's queen's word is law. But here's the other issue. He calls them the orders. And in order to protect his charges, some laws might need to be circumvented in order to carry out those orders. In order to carry out the law, I should say. I have a feeling we might know where this comes from. Snippet isn't wedding yet, but I intend to have that chapter done tomorrow. Woo! I am excited. But this is brainstorming with Knox, where this line and the realization and the imagination that Idol got from Luna was it imagination that he got from distilled moonlight? Inspiration. With the inspiration he got from from Luna. That sounds really bad. It could be a way for him to circumvent the orders because law is above all. Yes, I am. This has been brainstorming with Knox. If you want to put in your own two bits, let me know because I'd love to discuss lore and possibilities for the wedding. It's so close. Yes, yes, I am certain she would not send you to Ponyville without just cause. If she wants, you. Yes, yes, I am certain she would not. She would not send you. Yes, yes, I'm certain she. Hmm. Yes. 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 Yes, I am certain she would not send you to Ponyville without just cause. If she wants you to oversee. If she wants to. Yes, yes, I am certain she would not send you to Ponyville without just cause. If she wants you to oversee preparations, it must be important. Another grunt, but this one was just a grunt. I'm sure it will be fine. Beyond all that, what would you do if Nightmare Moon were to return? I don't think I've been in Idol's voice the entire time. Remember all that stuff that I said about making it easy on myself to do the Idol's voice? That it was all a lie because I can't do any voices. Oh no. There we go. I'm back to where I was. Yes, yes, I am certain she would not send you to Ponyville without just cause. If she wants you to oversee the preparations, it must be important. Another grunt, but this one was just a grunt. I'm sure it will be fine. Beyond that, what would you do if Nightmare Moon were to return? Twilight looked up to me and gasped. And gaped. Twilight looked up to me and gaped. Me? Me? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Me? I don't know. Then you are not prepared regardless. I stood, stretching. Enjoy your break, young Twilight, lest they become mandatory. Stop! Stop! I don't know if you could hear the furious clacking of me trying to stop this from going. Enjoy the rest of your break, young Twilight, lest they become mandatory. I rubbed my chin, staring at the moon in consternation. It should be day. I rubbed my chin, staring at the moon in consternation. It should be day. I was almost certain of it. Topaz's clock might be wrong, I suppose. Still, I had promised to take the day off. It was still night. Therefore, it was completely justified that I put on my armor and report to work, I decided. The frightened crowd was a bother, but hardly worthy of that much trouble. Cries for the sun to raise, demands for the princess to explain herself, fear because the mare and the moon was gone. Well, Twilight might have been onto something. She was a very smart mare, so I was hardly surprised. Everyone? Oh gosh, Idle. Is this ending chapter has a lot more to it than I thought it did. I guess that's why I just didn't do it last stream. Everyone, please calm down. The princess surely has a reason for the sun not to raise. I am sure everything is fine. Okay. What? Is she taking the day off? What? Is she taking the day off? She's just going to throw in random accents. What? Is she taking the day off? Someone from the crowd roared, clearly upset. Welcome, 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 Karma. You have missed quite a bit, including me flailing around trying to do Twilight and then Spike. No. I can already... No. I'm not in that way. Okay, there we go. But welcome. It has been a very productive stream. Somewhat. But yes, Kama, you are late. I blinked, weighing the possibility. The princess never had been a hypocrite. I blinked, weighing the possibility. The princess never had been a hypocrite. She may very well be. When was the last time any of you knew her to take a personal day? The crowd stopped. A few muttered. Sun's risen every day for 1,000 years without fail. That is correct. 1,000 years without a single day off. I believe we can all agree not to mention it if the princess decides to sleep in That is correct. 1,000 years without a single day off. I believe we can all agree not to mention it if the princess decides to sleep in just one time in all that. Also, I think there should be a comma somewhere. I don't know. I can't write. Shameless lies. Productivity is a myth. You very may well be true, but it still hurts. A few of the ponies looked embarrassed. One actually had the wherewithal to look properly shamed. Another chose a different emotion, and I met his eyes directly. But what about my flowers? They're dead because she isn't raising the sun on time. Sir, if I come to your home and your flowers are not withered husks, I shall haul you before Her Majesty to defend your slander. They're not quite dead, he admitted, trying to blend back into the crowd. I sighed. If there were some pony in Equestria having a more vexing not day than I was, I thought, I should very much like to meet them. I should very much like to meet... I sighed. If there was a I sighed. If there were some pony in Equestria having a more not... I sighed. If there was some... I sighed. If there were some pony in Equestria having a more vexing not day than I was, I thought, I should very much like to meet them. Oh gosh, that took way longer than I thought it should have. They're just resting. They're pining for the fjords. Sorry for the extra. Oh, here we go. This this author's note is very is very reminiscent about everything. Sorry for the extra long delay, folks. Very accurate to me reading this chapter. It was a pretty busy time at work. Yep, that is also accurate. I had to do a lot of traveling, not so much, and I wasn't entirely certain how I wanted to do this time skipping business. I'm not sure either, but I think you did a fantastic job, V. 10 points for the first people who name the references. Well, you got the I'm not dead yet. Because obvious Monty Python reference is obvious. That's... If you could tell me how many references there were, I could probably try and name them all. But the Monty Python one is the one that I'm the one that's like, yeah, 100%. 100% on Monty Python right there. Also, the art piece for this chapter, the Adelhoof's maid costume. Yeah, I'm going to put that in the live stream chat just because I think it's been a while. It's been a bit. It's been a bit since we've seen that one. So, copy. Copy. And paste. There we go. And now I start on new chapter. Oh gosh. The clock strikes moon. Clock strikes moon. Let it do. Alright, so I just close out of this. Open up this. Do some finagling. Oh, I did the entirely wrong one. That's not what I wanted at all. And which chapter was this one? It was soap poisoning. Nope, that's a different project. There we go. Broken clock, finished. Clock strike spoon. Ah, okay. It's chapter 39. There. Time for an awkward long pause. Hold on to your butts, everyone. Awkward long pause over. And now I can save this as... And there we go. Chapter 39. The clock strikes moon. Dealing with the crowds was no small task. An hour of what should have been done was concerned. Dealing with the crowds was no small task. An hour after what should have been done was concerned. By noon, however, it was approaching Pandemonium. Pandemonium. That's Pandemonium. I blame my own accent getting in the way on that one. Certainly not me just not being able to read. Dealing with the crowds was no small task. An hour after what should have been done was concerned. By noon, however, it approached Pandemonium. Dealing with the crowds was no small task. An hour of what should have been. No. Comma, you jinxed me. They're not getting better. Or, I forgot what you were... They're getting better. I don't know what you were referring to. I've forgotten already. I can't remember things long enough for that. I have such a bad memory. I'm sorry. Dealing with the crowds was no small task. Dealing with the crowds was no small task. An hour after what should have been done was concerned. By noon, however, it approached Pandemonium. The guard discussed martial law, and Shining Armor, Lieutenant Shining Armor, I reminded myself firmly, argued that citizens should be advised to remain in their homes until the princess resolves matters with the sun, but that ordering them to do so would only turn the Pandemonium into panic. Even the older leadership agreed with this assessment. But that ordering them to do so would only... But that ordering to... Welcome, Zine. Zen? Welcome, Z. Z? Z. It's been a while. Z? Zine. I can't remember what your why I decided to call you. I think I'll go with Z. Z? Yeah. Welcome, Z. Drake gets a V most of the time. You're Z. Z and V. But that ordering them to do so would only turn the but that ordering them to do so would only turn the pandemonium into panic. Even the older Oh my gosh, why this I made it through so good the first time. Oh, Z. Yes. Welcome, Z. Even the older leadership agreed Even the older leadership agreed with this assessment, and I was quite proud to see that he was growing into a worthy mate for the princess. Worthier, I suppose. Maybe I should start pushing him towards that. Nope. Princess Cadence and Shining Armor could work that out themselves. Order, I was picking up on the princess's habits. Soon I'd start making her goods transportations chart. I don't know why I forgot about that. That's so good. Order, I was picking up on the princess's habits. Soon I'd start making her goods transportation charts. More shipping. Oh. I can't believe I forgot about that one. That's really good. Of course, some ponies refuse to be advised of anything, and an ever-growing... Of course, some ponies refuse to be advised of... Man, my throat went... when something happened. What happened? I could not tell you, but something did happen, and I did not like it. Of course, some ponies refused to be advised of anything, and an ever-growing number began to fill the courtyards as the not day wore on. Princess Cadence, it seemed, was trying and largely failing to move the moon or the sun. If she managed to adjust one of the heavenly bodies, the other seemed to follow it. The closest she could accomplish would be an eternal eclipse, which would probably do more to frighten the ponies than reassure them. Worse, touching the sun left her feeling... Worse, touching the sun left her nearly grieving, though she swore that there was neither exhaustion nor pain involved, apparently just an unintentional side effect of the spell. Worse, touching the sun left her nearly grieving, though she swore there were neither exhaustion nor pain involved, apparently just an unmentioned side effect of the spell. Oh! Oh my gosh! I've been wondering about that for years now, and I just realized it. Is it the emotions that... V, I need your input on this. Is it the emotions that Celestia put in this... has just been lifting the sun and or the moon with for ages, that's become saturated with her grievingness about stowing her sister away? I think that might be true. I think that might be it. Although I'm not certain, because I've just barely realized this. If other people have realized this far before me, congratulations. You are much smarter than I am, which, I mean, isn't that high of a bar to clear in the first place, but cleared it, you did. I'm stupid. Sorry, say again. So is the reason why the sun left Cadence grieving, in a state of grieving, was, and she just claimed it was a side effect of the spell, was the emotions tied up in the sun that Celestia's basically pouring out into them. No! V! We don't lose. Hold on! So, my question is, so Cadence was affected by the sun into a nearly grieving state. Was that from the emotions that Celestia herself poured into the sun over the course of 1,000 years. A la Lullaby for a Princess. Yes, I got that. Woo! Woo! I noticed something, which is a very interesting thing because I usually don't notice anything. Still, it was a Celestia's grip. Gotcha. Still, it was both relief and concern when the sun popped into the sky quite without warning and settled into a reasonable position. At first, Pony's worried that it was simply going to fly off into wherever, the sky, I suppose, and Cadence was able to reassure them that both heavenly bodies had resumed their proper places, and that everything would be fine. I had intended to doff my armor immediately, but so many ponies continued to require reassurance. The Thestrals had tried to establish that things would be fine, even without a sun, but their efforts had proven less appreciated. Mothchaser had a blackened eye from a panicky young colt who apparently mistook her for Nightmare Moon, and had, in fact, called the rest of the overworked Night Guard an army of Nightmare Moons. I did it! Yeah! One would think the ponies would be able to keep their own legends straight. How could there be multiple Nightmare Moons if there is only one moon? I digress. Most of the Thestrals set about returning to their homes, but with Mothchaser's injury, she claimed she'd prefer not to worry her family by showing up with a swollen eye, and instead asked for my assistance in and instead asked my assistance with getting her to the Bat Pony Barracks, which I realized I had never actually seen. Assisting Mothchaser to her quarters led to a great deal of stumbling, and eventually I had to resort to her softly mumbled directions. Assisting Mothchaser to her quarters led to a great deal of stumbling, and eventually I had to resort to her softly murmured. Assisting Mothchaser to her quarters led to a great deal of stumbling, and eventually I had to resort to her softly murmured directions. Their barracks was, to my great shock, below ours, in one mostly sealed-off section of the caverns beneath Canterlot, accessible through a secret door in one of the walls. More concerning. Oh gosh, I have to just... Assisting Mothchaser to her quarters led to a great deal of stumbling, and eventually I had to resort to her softly murmured directions. Their barracks was, to my great shock, below ours, in one mostly sealed-off section of the caverns beneath Canterlot, accessible through a secret door in one of the walls. More concerning, the passageways were almost completely black, even to my own eyes. She took strange pleasure through her pain as she whispered directions to me, and I soon found myself in a rather spacious room. She had claimed all for herself. She offered to let me stay until someone else came to see me out, but I promised that I could retrace my steps without fail. She should focus on rest. It pleases me she was disappointed. I could understand. Surely she expected that I would... It pleases me that she was disappointed. I could understand. Surely she expected that I would eventually be talked into allowing her to return to work. So much great moments with Idle here. It pleases me that she was disappointed. I could understand. Surely she expected that I would eventually be talked into allowing her to return to work, but I was confident rest was all she sorely needed. Thankfully, she had not Thankfully, she had not been concussed, and seemed entirely aware, beyond her minor injuries, of being briefly dazed at the strike. Unfortunately, when I exited, I strolled almost right into the princess's procession. Unfortunately, when I exited, I strolled almost right into the princess's procession. I blinked rapidly at the bright light, bowing low. Your Highness? Celestia's words were cheerful, but I had known her long enough to recognize tension in her voice. I'm sure Moth Chaser would have loved to return to work, but just not the one you're expecting, Idol. And I haven't realized until now how appropriate Moth Chaser's name is. Just because of she's chasing a kind of moth pony ish thing. It falls apart quickly, but my point still stands. Which is why Celestia doesn't let anyone else hold the moon, because they get all Luna's anger. Ah, okay. I can't believe I missed that when I was reading your replies earlier. That's interesting. Idle hoofs. Idle hooves. To what do I owe the pleasure? Have you been working? Idle hooves. To what do I owe the pleasure? Have you been working? Yes, that is how I have to pronounce Celestia, because I can't alter her character now. Please get up. Oh, wait, no, this is how Celestia sounds. Idle hooves. To what do I owe the pleasure? Stop it. Idle hooves. To what do I owe the pleasure? Have you been working? Only until the sun came up, Your Highness. Only until the sun came up, Your Highness, I responded. It is my day off. Your day off, she repeated flatly. I can't do these emotions well enough. Your day off? She repeated flatly. Your day, as in the time between dusk and... Your day off, she repeated flatly. Your day, as in the time between dawn and dusk, or your day as in the 24 hours designated as the summer sun celebration? I hesitated. The former, Your Majesty. She brightened. Well then, Corporal Idle Hooves, you've missed the introduction of my dear sister Luna, who returned to us after so many years. She beckoned to her side, and I blinked, taking in the small blue She beckoned to her side, and I blinked, taking in the small blue alicorn She beckoned to her side, and I blinked, taking in the small blue alicorn besides her. Purplish, maybe? I still hadn't adjusted to the light. I bowed again. Your Highness, it is a true honor. I apologize for missing your introduction. I swear it will not happen again. I will serve more faithfully in the future. The smaller alicorn blinked, staring at me as if I had grown a second horn. Something stuck in my head, and I winced, looking towards Princess Celestia. Corporal? Corporal, Your Highness? Perhaps this course of action could still be reversed. Let it never be said that I don't carry out my promises, and as I understand it, you've earned it. Warmth radiated from Celestia, though for the life of me I could not guess why. Her smaller sister, and she was significantly smaller, Celestia's nutritionist was likely to have an aneurysm. Oh man. I have to figure out Luna's voice. No. I'm only a paragraph away from having to do that. Her smaller sister, and she was significantly smaller, Celestia's nutritionist was likely to have an aneurysm. Her smaller sister, and she was significantly smaller, Celestia's nutritionist was likely to have an aneurysm, smiled nervously as if seeking approval. I saluted sharply, realized I was supposed to be off duty, and decided that the damage was already done, and that if anything, I had just confirmed my acceptance of my new position. So be it. There were more. So be it. There was more to report. And if I may be so bold, Your Highness, the Night Guard should be commended for going above and beyond their duty. They did not call off their shifts until the sun rose, and most were forced to seek shelter immediately. I fear they will have... I fear they will also have been absent for the return of Princess Luna. Luna's voice, as voiced by V. Drake. Oh. And the thing is it's going to be partially covered up by... I am sorry, dearest sister. There we go. Does that sound Luna enough? Is that what Luna sounds like? I'm trying very hard to get a Luna sound. I think... Luna? I think Luna. At least depowered. So I'm actually going to do a really cool thing. I'm going to do a really cool thing with Luna. Because the way I see the alicorns in this story is that they have so much power, they literally overflow with it, especially to magically intertwine persons like Idol. Like he could feel the presence of the sun in front of him when he first met Celestia. So that's why I've been doing those alterations, making them sound very much more godly in a strange way. And I don't know if people noticed, but Cadence has less of a godly voice than Celestia does, mainly because she's not as powerful as Celestia. At least she hasn't come into her prime yet. So what I'm going to be doing is that while Luna's recovering, she's going to go from no modification to some modification, and then once she fully retains her true power, she's going to be on par with Celestia. And that's how I kind of want to be like, oh, she is getting better, and you can kind of hear it. Especially once her main starts, especially when she was able to start her main, be all wavy and whatnot, she's taking more of that power into her, and so she's more likely to have that effect over her voice. Funny thing is that voice only started out because I wanted Idol to be possessed by a god, and that was a godly voice that I found online. And then I'm like, well, I already did it to one alicorn, and I can't really do Celestia, so let's do it to all the alicorns. All the alicorns get this voice modification to them. And that's how it's been ever since. Night Guard? Night Guard? Night Guard? I almost didn't hear the voice, and I certainly did not expect something so timid from the sister of Celestia who had been so... I almost didn't hear the voice, and I certainly did not expect something so timid from the sister of Celestia who had been so terrified of... who had so terrified the Okay. I almost didn't hear the voice, and I certainly did not expect something so timid from the sister of Celestia who had so terrified... I almost didn't hear the voice, and I certainly did not expect something so timid from the sister of Celestia, who had so I almost didn't hear the voice, and I certainly did not expect something so timid from the sister of Celestia, who had so terrified the populace in her day. Yes, Your Highness. The night guard protects ponies during the night so they may rest, while the day guard handles most affairs throughout the day. I tend to pull both. I enjoy the contrast. Whatever I said was clearly wrong, and I regretted it instantly when the smaller alicorn's eyes shimmered. Ponies want to experience the night? Ponies want to experience the night? Ponies want to experience the night? An alabaster wing stretched over Princess Luna protectively. Much has changed in your absence, dear sister. Ponies realized soon after your absence how much you did to defend them, and hastened to establish a force to ensure that they could continue to keep their families safe. And, interestingly enough, it's led them to be less afraid of the night. Luna surreptitiously wiped her eyes with her own wing, but nodded. Luna surreptitiously wiped her wing. Luna surreptitiously wiped her eyes in her own wing, but nodded. You'll have to explain when. You will have to explain when the Royal Guard stopped being merely a position of honor. She seemed to stumble slightly, but that was absurd. Goddesses did not stumble. Her wings stretched, and she tried to hold back a yawn. Celestia smiled, though this seemed a bit forced. Luna did not seem to catch it. Other matters, but all that can wait. I've tried to keep your room as you left it, but I also felt you would have liked certain parts of it to be updated. Come, sister, you should rest. You have been gone so many years. It will be more than one afternoon for you to see it all. You may have a point, Tia. I do seem to be out of sorts. All feels surreal. 'Tis like a dream yet unmade. A pony oddity. It had taken me years to distinguish that ponies had strange visions in the night. Sometimes A pony oddity. It had taken me years to distinguish that ponies had strange visions in the night, sometimes assigning meaning to them, and, of course, they also use the term to describe hopes for the future. I took that as tacit permission to leave and bowed again. Forgive me, Your Highness. I have kept you from your west. I have kept you from your west for far too long. Forgive me, Your Highness. I have kept you from your rest for too long already. Good evening to you, Princess Celestia. Princess Luna, I look forward to serving in the future. Bye, Kama. Thanks for dropping by. Good luck with the storm. Forgive me, Your Highness. I have kept you from your rest too long. I did say that right, V, right? Tacit? I've never seen that word before, but I assume that it's tacit. Forgive me, Your Highness. I have kept you from your rest too long already. Good evening to you, Princess Celestia. Princess Luna, I look forward to serving in the future. And I, all of you. And I, all of you. The Moon Princess responded formally. It had an air of tradition to it, and I was flattered to be so included. Topaz swatted me with a newspaper again. Sun never comes up, and you go straight into danger, and you leave a note? You are aware that You are aware that doesn't hurt? I verified cautiously. Topaz's worry was plain, and truthfully, I appreciated it. It makes me feel better. Gone to work. Nightmare Moon may... It makes me feel better. Gone to work? Nightmare Moon may return? And you don't even wake me up? Woo! I can read. I can read words that I'd never seen before. I was pretty sure it wasn't Tekkit. So... It makes me feel better. Gone to work? Nightmare Moon may be returned, and you don't even wake me up? A band of hair escaped the professional bun she had started. A band of hair escaped the professional bun she had taken to wearing. It was strange, Topaz changing her look upon being inducted. It was strange, Topaz changing her look upon being inducted into It was strange. Topaz changing her look upon being inducted to professorship had troubled me, but it was very appropriate for her new position. Still, I found that seeing the old Topaz breaking free of this imposed restriction pleased me immensely. I also opined that you should accept. I also opine that you should not. I also opine that you should exercise caution. It is my duty to take unsafe actions, not yours. Oh, Topaz imitating Idol's voice. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Delete it all. It's rubbish. Right. It makes me feel better. Gone to work. Nightmare Moon may return. And you don't even wake me up? Does that sound better? You know how hard it is to do impressions of people you're already doing impressions for? That's why everyone was applauding Rainbow Dash's voice actor for impersonating the rest of the main six, including Flutter, Applejack, who's also her own voice. Oh, it's so... A band of hair escaped the professional bun she had taken to wearing. It was strange. Topaz changing her look upon being inducted into the professorship had troubled me, but it was very appropriate for her new position. Still, I found that seeing the old Topaz breaking free of this imposed restriction pleased me immensely. Going to work. I also opine that you should exercise caution. It is my duty to take unsafe action, not yours. I also opine that you should exercise caution. It is my duty to take unsafe action, not yours. The university is better protected than anywhere other than the castle. Her wingtip. Her wingtips poked the bun, and I knew that my attention had been noted. Her wingtips poked the bun, and I knew my attention had been noted. And what's this about Nightmare Moon? That had meant... And what's this about Nightmare Moon? And what's this about Nightmare Moon? That had been meant as a joke, but she has actually returned. Not what I expected, to be honest, but it's not my place to... That had meant to be as a joke, but she has actually returned. Not that I expected, to be honest, but it is not my place to judge, only to obey and protect. You're going to serve Nightmare Moon? Just... I love Topaz dealing with Idol. You're going to serve Nightmare Moon? I forget. You're going to serve Nightmare Moon? Nightmare Moon? A voice crack would be appropriate there. You're going to serve Nightmare Moon? There we go. Voice crack initiated. After Topaz finished hyperventilating and I had time to explain all that... After Topaz finished hyperventilating and I had explained that all was well between Princess Celestia and her reformed sister, of course she focused on entirely the wrong event of the story. A promotion? Good for you. Kate and I had a bet going. She was going to cheat, going to have Shining tell you he was turning down his captaincy if you didn't accept. I honestly thought you'd never go for it unless someone ordered you to. She grinned, buffing a hoof on her chest. She grinned, buffing a hoof on her chest. Well, some pony more important than me anyways. That is not how it went, and... Corporal, I admitted with shame. Topaz blinked, tilted her head, clearly trying to recall rank. What's wrong with Corporal? I sighed. I had been promoted as punishment, Topaz, not reward. Oh, horse apples, they don't promote people as punishment. Katie says they've been pushing you to accept for years now, and you finally didn't get a choice. If you were... Oh, horse apples, they don't promote people as Oh, horse apples, they don't promote people as punishment. Katie says they've been pushing you to accept for years now, and you finally didn't get a choice. If you weren't married... If you weren't married... If you weren't married... Oh man, that's such a slip of the tongue there. If you weren't wanted, they'd give you terrible jobs or kick you out. Face it, Idol, you're the best pony for the job. But I am not a pony, I reminded her. Yeah, we know, but look, more rank means more work, which means more pay and more you can do to help ponies. What's wrong with all that? I hesitated. I should not be telling ponies what to do. I hesitated. I should not be telling ponies what to do. She turned and began trotting away, continuing the conversation over her shoulder. Well, newsflash, you've been doing that for 10 years. Congratulations, Idol. You're good at it, and they want you to do it more. And it's cause for a celebration. When's the last time we saw a musical? She grinned through the rail of her to her upstairs balcony at me. She grinned through the rail of her upstairs balcony at me as she ascended. I blushed, horrified. Of course I remember that. It had been over the top. Plays, dancing I could stand, but singing? It was a glorification of pony emotional output. I blushed, horrified. Of course I remember. It had been over the top. Plays, dancing I could stand, but singing? It was a glorification of pony emotional output. Any pony could sing. Any pony would sing. At the very least, when ponies danced in public, it was usually choreographed in some fashion or practice, but a pony could just decide to sing and others might join in. Topaz herself had sung along with the musical and had been unable to meet her eyes. Topaz herself had sung along with the musical, and I had been unable to meet her eyes for days. She delighted in the whole thing, and had even got me to... Topaz herself had Topaz herself had sung along with the musical. I had been unable to meet her eyes for days. She delighted in the whole thing, and had even gotten me to try to belt out a marching cadence for her. I had made 2 lines before shame overwhelmed me, and I stuttered to a halt. Still, she said I was pretty good. Regardless, perhaps just a play. I do not think I can do a musical. I could hear her rustling upstairs. Oh, fine. A nice, safe, normal play. Mario and Luigietta... Oh, Mario and... this pains my soul on how to pronounce it. Luigietta. Oh, fine. Fine. Oh, fine. A nice, safe, normal play. Mario... Oh, fine. A nice, safe, normal play. Mario and Luigietta 2, The Lost Lovers, is playing. How about that? Luigietta? Is that even remotely close, V? Oh, fine. A nice, safe, normal play. Mario, sorry. Oh, fine. A nice, safe, normal play. Mario and Luigietta 2, The Lost Lovers, is playing. How about that? I did enjoy a good sequel. I thought we already saw that. I did enjoy a good sequel. I thought we already saw that. No, they thought the original was a bit too free-spirited for Canterlot. There's a musical number, but only one. Think it'll be okay? She trotted back down the stairs, and I may have stared. Her dress was emerald green, cut with gold embroidery. It did not match her coat, but somehow highlighted it. Her mane was free of the bun entirely, hastily arranged, but still every bit the Topaz from the day I had met her. Older, perhaps, but just as intense and incredible. The ladybug necklace I had purchased her all those years ago dangled and bounced as she made her way back to my level. What do you think? Cadence insisted. I shoved my emotions aside and smiled, offering her my hoof. I think it suits you perfectly. To the play, then? I made it through the chapter with still 7 minutes to spare. Whew. And this was a New Year's chapter. Maybe I should have saved it for New Year's. So, there we go. Chapter 39 is finished. Did I say the right chapter number? Yes, I did. Whew. Luigietta. Yeah, didn't I say Luigietta? I'm pretty sure I said Luigietta. And I still have plenty of water left over. This is a new strange thing for me. I never have water left over. As always, comments are a narrator's food pellets. Oh, man. I forgot that was a really short chapter. Oh, wait. It wasn't short. It was a 12-minute long chapter. Did I just not mess up that much? I felt like I did. I know. Chapter 37 has been on the back burner for a while now. I'll work on it tonight. Oh, man. It's usually I just forget about it because editing chapters is just the worst. Like, really, it's really the worst. I hate editing. I love making these. I just hate editing them all the time. But yeah, that's the main reason is I'm just too lazy for it. I'm too lazy to actually get to make things. Which I know, surprising. but 'tis true. And while I continue talking for the last little bit, I will get started on part of the editing process. Whew. I said Louisiana. Louisiana, exactly. Secondly, just in time for 3 a.m. Precisely. Thing is I would have these earlier, except I work night shift. So, like, the earliest I could potentially start is 4. But even then, that's still like only like an hour, maybe 2. That's only 2 hours after I wake up, and I'm not ready enough in 2 hours for me to be functional, especially on a Sunday of all days. So I think for now they'll just stay how they have been. Yeah, they'll just stay as they have been because I can't do them. I can't do them any quicker. I tried to. I was like, I'm going to record more and more often because I really want to. And then you know what happened? It didn't. So I will just have to stick to one a week and or one every week. I think even one every 2 weeks, maybe. Because my schedule is so weird, it might be better for me to do it that way. Like seriously, like 1 week I technically work 3.5 days. The other week I only do 4 days, but it's a longer weekend. It's just all craziness. but either way, I shall talk to you next week. Hope y'all had a good time. And we'll see if I can continue doing these. Let's see if I can actually stick to a plan of actually recording every week. All right. That's all. That's everything I can do tonight. So I shall see you next week. Hopefully, I'll keep you posted. No, I'm not too bothered. Not like I had anything better to do. Fair enough. But yeah, work's just been crazy. I've been one of the people at work got injured, and I've been called in to cover shifts or switch around shifts for others, and it was just a thing that just didn't leave me with enough energy to do these. I still had today off. It was just I had zero energy to do them. And then birthdays got in the